You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. Margaret, can you tell me a little bit about when you were approached for LaughFest, what it was that you thought about being able to kind of honor Gilda Radner and also bring your comedy to Grand Rapids?
Well, I am a major Gilda Radner fan. I think most kids of my generation grew up watching Saturday Night Live and just idolizing her, and so it's an honor to be able to perform for this amazing organization, and then also to come to Grand Rapids, which I have been here before. It's been a really long time, so it's really nice to be back, and I don't have a lot of gigs here, so it's like, it's so amazing to get to do them, so I'm really excited to do it.
So have you been in town for just about a day or so, or?
I just got here a couple of hours ago.
Okay, so you're gonna have a chance to kind of experience LaughFest, or?
Not really, no. I have to go right back to work, because I'm right now I'm shooting the third season of a show that I do for Lifetime called Drop Dead Diva, so we're in production in Atlanta right now. So I'm just kind of here secretly for a day.
What is it that drew you to stand-up comedy?
Well, I love stand-up comedy. I've always thought of myself as a stand-up comic. I mean, I started when I was 14, and so that's pretty young to begin in this business. And so I don't really have any other identity. I mean, it's something that I grew up doing. It's something that I love. It's something that I'm very used to. It's the longest job I've ever held on to.
Can you recall back when you were 14 what made you feel like, you know, I think I can do this, I think I love this? Is there like a funny anecdote that happened in your life, or?
The only thing that I remember was like when I was like 8, I was on vacation with my family, and we had taken this like big package holiday called Pleasant Hawaiian Holidays, and it was really awful, and I turned to my father in the middle of it and I said, you know, this is really unpleasant. And he was like, that's funny. He never really laughed, right? But he would say, that's funny. And I always kind of thought, well, he thought I was funny, I must be. And so I don't know, like I just kind of thought I would be good at it. And I'm not sure if I was, but fortunately it turned out to be okay.
The source of some of tonight's material, what were you inspired by?
Well, this show is all different things. I mean, this show is a lot about my family history, a lot about being an immigrant, a lot about my life now as it's going. Some stuff about show business. It's a lot about sex, a lot about drugs. It's very rock and roll, so I'm happy about it.
Is there anything else about the show that you want to say that I didn't ask you?
I don't know. It's pretty rude. I think it's pretty rude. So Grand Rapids, very ready. It's gonna get hot up there. I never know. I mean, I'm sure. For me, it's not rude. Like I'm just being juvenile, but I think it's gonna be exciting.
Now, I have to do a local Dancing with the Stars, and it's through Arthur Murray Studios. So I have to dance the tango. So I didn't know if you had any advice that you might want to give me.
I never learned the tango. That's a really hard one. Are you gonna swing your legs around your partner and stuff? See, that's like really advanced. I mean, that's to me, that's probably one of the harder dances, like the Argentine tango. I mean, they're all hard. They're all really hard. I only learned a few of them. I only learned jive and samba and Viennese waltz and some cha-cha and a little bit of quick step, a little foxtrot. It's like all of them are just phenomenally difficult, but I think you'll do great.
Do you have any advice when it comes to dancing in front of a crowd like that when you've never done it before? Anything that you should beforehand?
No. I mean, it's not. To me, like dancing in front of one person is like so hard. It's just the same as if you're dancing in front of 23 million. I mean, to me, it's like one extra person in the room kind of throws you off. So, kind of just go, well, I guess just people are watching. It's going to be great.
That's all I had, unless you had something?
Huge comedy fan. I still have Drunk with Power on my iPod. I love that album.
That's a great album.
And I've been listening now to a lot of the podcasts that comedians have been doing. I heard you on WTF with Marc Maron.
Oh, I love Marc.
Loved that. My first question there is, there's so many comedians now going to that because it's such a free range. You know, you can pretty much do anything. Have you thought about doing a podcast?
I haven't thought about doing a podcast, but you know, it was probably a good idea. I love Marc's. Marc's really the best. There's a couple other guys that are doing great ones, like Jim Short does one, and Greg Behrendt does one. There's a lot of people out there that are so funny out there doing it. So, but I love Marc. He's the best.
Been loving walking the room. I'm also a cuddler.
Oh, are you a cuddler?
Cuddler. I say hi to crickets all the time whenever I can. But going back to the WTF episode, you were talking about. Well, first of all, you were talking about that you're a huge Weird Al fan, like myself.
I am. I'm a huge Weird Al fan.
Where did that come from? Where did that passion come from?
Well, Weird Al, I mean, if you think about his history in music and you think about all of the artists that he parodied and how well he parodied them, I think, you know, to be a successful song parodist, you have to be as good, if not better than the artist that you are parodying. And Al has managed to do that and actually even excel. You know, he even outdoes Dylan. You know, when he does Bob Dylan, he's even better than Bob Dylan, and he's an extraordinary man and also just a lovely, fun dude to hang out with. But he's just so accomplished, you know, as a musician and comedian.
And that inspired you to work on an album yourself, correct?
Yes.
And how's that going?
Well, the album, it's called Show Dependent. It's out. It did very well. It was nominated for a Grammy, which was very exciting. And I made it, you know, really because I love Al and I love that kind of music, and I wanted to bring that kind of music back to comedy, and I got all these different people to be on it, which was really phenomenal. So I loved it. I'll do a couple of songs from the album tonight. I'm not playing. I have a little hand injury, so I'm not going to play tonight, but I'm going to be singing.
Cool. And then just, I think for me, my last question is, you know, you've been doing this for such a while, and you've built a wonderful career that I imagine you probably have now built a base of people who were inspired by your work and who are now doing stand-up comedy today. Have they been coming up to you saying, you were my inspiration, thanks to you I got into stand-up comedy? And if so, just kind of what does that fill your heart with?
Well, it just fills my heart with a lot of joy, and there's quite a few people now who I've influenced, and that's a really great thing. And I am influenced by people like Bill Hicks and you know, the people that I love that really changed the path and the road for comedians. People like Gilda Radner and also Richard Pryor and people who just changed the face of comedy and made it what it is. I really admire that. So when people say they get that from me, I'm so honored.
Cool.
You know, I'm just curious, you know, you got your BFF with you today, right?
Oh, yes, John, he's right there, yes.
And you guys have done some collaborative works as well on video.
Yes.
But, when did the idea of working with your best friend come together?
Well,
you guys are on tour a lot, right?
We are on tour. We've been living on the tour bus for the last several months, and now we're just off. Now it's a real treat to come back and do shows together. But we're doing quite a few. This month we get to kind of go away every weekend and do a show. But now that I'm back working in Atlanta, it's harder and harder to get together. But we're collaborating on a lot of stuff together. So he's great. He's going to be opening up tonight.
Awesome. We're a big fan of both your videos.
Thank you.
Other thing is, you're really big into trumping causes, and mainly gay rights and advocacy for, you know, gays. I mean, I love the Prop 8 video that was done. It was very funny, the musical one. I just wondered, you know, where did that come from?
Well, I grew up in California. I grew up in San Francisco during the age of Harvey Milk. You know, I grew up really thinking that he was going to change the world, and unfortunately he died before he could. And so, but you know, growing up with that example, you have to be able to apply that to whatever you can do, and apply his philosophy to whatever we can do, whatever's possible. And so, you know, for me, being the kind of artist that I am and talking about the issues that I do, that it gives me a small platform and able to push these points of views forward, these pro-gay marriage, progressive points of view forward, and make them seem cool, which they are cool. And I think it does do good. I think that things change slowly, but it's really gratifying to see it.
Does comedy make it, though, like an easy pill for people to swallow, though?
I think so. I think it's also, if you can make the message sound cool, then you should, which is what we've managed to do, I think.
Awesome. Well, that's all I have today.
Great. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Margaret.
Nice to meet you.